Hey guys, what's going on? Matt O'Leary back with another video. I wanted to talk some Jordan Travis today. I've got asked about him a ton, so figured I'd do a video on the subject. Today's video is powered by BetUS, the official sports book of the channel here. Did you know you could take a look at Aaron Rodgers' next team odds? Aaron Rodgers not likely to come back to the New York Jets, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are the favorite to land him. I'm not so sure. I don't really see him and Mike Tomlin meshing all that well, but you never know. Sign up using promo code YouTube150, receive a 150% match deposit bonus on your first deposit over on BetUS up to $2,000. So we're now a few days removed from the Aaron Rodgers news and big decision there. And what I think is a good thing are people are starting to come to grips with it. We've moved past the grieving stage and are in the acceptance stage, which I think is good because you can't, unfortunately, for some, you can't go back in time and change it. You got to learn to deal with it in whatever way that you can. And now we're talking about looking at other options for the New York Jets. And as I mentioned, Jordan Travis is a name that I get asked about a lot in either comments on YouTube, in messages across social media. And I figured that I would talk today about why, unfortunately, I don't really view Jordan Travis as a realistic option to take over the Jets quarterback spot in 2025. The New York Jets drafted Jordan Travis in the 5th round, 171st overall in the 2024 NFL draft. And I was for the New York Jets drafting a mid-round quarterback to come in and sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a year. And you just never know, right? Like when you don't really have a long-term answer at quarterback, it doesn't hurt to go and continue to take flyers on people. But with Jordan Travis, what you knew was there was an injury, which was affecting his draft status, number one. Not by as much as some exaggerate, saying that he would have been a first-round pick before the injury. I don't think that's really all that fair. In most mock drafts before the injury, like during the season in October and early November before he went down with the injury, he was usually getting mocked in roughly the 3rd round, which again is higher where he ended up going. But after the injury, he was projected to go anywhere between the 4th and 6th round, and the Jets ended up drafting him in the 5th round. Again, had no issue with it at the time because I thought it was something that the New York Jets needed to do, take a swing on a rookie quarterback. Now, I mentioned that injury that he sustained in college. It was really gruesome. He had a broken leg and dislocated ankle in November of 2023. It unfortunately ended his season. Florida State was having an awesome year, and Jordan Travis goes down with injury, and then unfortunately, that impacts his draft stock. But the hope was last year that Jordan Travis would be ready to go for the summer. At some point during training camp, the expectation was that you'd see him, and then eventually in preseason games, you'd get your look. And I was excited for that. I wanted to see what he would look like as a rookie quarterback, a young guy. What could he do behind Aaron Rodgers? This and that. And unfortunately, he didn't play at all over the summer. He missed the entirety of the summer. That wasn't the case. You didn't get a chance to see him in practice, training camp practices, or any preseason games. But it didn't stop there. Unfortunately, it wasn't just the summer that he missed. Jordan Travis missed the entirety of the 2024 season because he suffered not a setback. I was going to say he suffered a setback. He suffered multiple setbacks during his rehab process. So we never got to see even Jordan Travis at any sort of practice, even in November, December, nothing. He was never activated and given a chance to practice with the team. And maybe this year you'll get to see Jordan Travis in OTAs and training camp and preseason. But the truth is we genuinely have no idea how his recovery is going right now or if he'll be ready to go by the summer. I really hope that's the case. But with these setbacks, you don't know. What kind of setback was it? It was very vague, the wording from the Jets. And suffering multiple setbacks from a leg injury on a quarterback is not ideal. And by the time you get to August, when preseason games are getting played, it would be 21 months since Jordan Travis last played a football game, which, granted, he played in a good conference and played on a good team at Florida State, but going almost 2 years without playing in a football game is going to take a toll on a quarterback, no matter what level they're at. Look at what happened with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, no one's going to question him being like not a very good person, but at one point in his NFL career, he was a good quarterback, and that's why the Cleveland Browns traded for him, and he's been horrible because he missed so much time, that being a big factor. Looking at Jordan Travis's profile coming out of the draft, he really wasn't, a prototypical size quarterback, smaller in height, smaller in weight, but what he did really have and was a strength for him was his speed and mobility. He was like 88th percentile in his 40-yard dash. And unfortunately, you have to wonder how much of a hit his mobility and his speed is going to take due to his injury. And he'll be 25 years old by the time he ever has an NFL practice. And I don't want to just completely count the guy out and say, there's zero chance that he could ever be anything in the NFL. I don't think that's fair to do to an individual, but what I do think is fair and reasonable from the Jets side is you can't go into next year with any sort of expectation for him. I think if he gives you anything, even as showing like, hey, maybe he could be a capable backup quarterback this year, you look at that as a major win. A major win for him would be getting back on the football field. But that's not where we are in this process. And we don't know what Tanner Engstrand or Aaron Glenn or Darren Muji thought of Jordan Travis coming out of the draft. This is not the regime that picked him. Oftentimes you'll see roster decisions get made when you have turnover at the coaching, on the coaching staff and in the front office, because these were not, the people who brought these guys in. And we don't know, maybe they didn't have Jordan Travis as draftable because of the injury. Or maybe they were one of the teams that love Jordan Travis. Again, we'll find out very shortly. But I just don't think you can go into the 2025 season and be like, oh, okay, like let's consider Jordan Travis as one of the options here for the Jets starting job. I want to make it clear I'm rooting for Jordan Travis. I would love for him to be awesome and come back from an injury and actually, play really well over the spring and into the summer. And he beats out Tyrod Taylor, let's say, for a starting job and looks like a damn good quarterback in the NFL and win some games for this team. That would be an unbelievable story, number one. But then number two, hey, that's probably your fix at the quarterback spot, an unexpected fix. But that feels like wishful thinking. That doesn't feel like, I don't know, looking at it logically. So that's why I don't really view him as a legitimate candidate for this starting quarterback job. I think he's got to have at least one NFL practice before we bring him into the conversation of playing for the Jets team this year. And I honestly he might have a hard time making this roster because I would assume that the Jets are going to bring in another veteran. And who knows, maybe they also like someone in this quarterback class and they draft someone. So if you have, Tyrod who's here, you add another veteran quarterback, let's say, and then take a mid-round quarterback, are they going to carry 4 quarterbacks? That I'm not really too sold on. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on Jordan Travis in the comments. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.